Where one, the person on interview is subject to a government. Okay? Myself also am subject to a government. But all of us, we are doing this because we are protected by this right, by certain fundamental rights. We are doing this not as a favor, but as our fundamental rights. Okay? So that if somebody calls you and asks you, sasa, unajua mtu amekupata, umekaa tu seme kwa nyumba ama ofisi ya mtu. Nafanya interview, nini, yeah. So if somebody calls you and say, you know what, I don't want that interview to continue, yeah. Tell them that I know my rights. So which right do you know? So the very basic of that right is the knowledge that you are subject to a democratic government. And so what are the features of a democratic government? Democratic government is as the following features. One, it is a limited government. Okay? Two, it is separation of powers. Three, it is respect to the rule. It's subject to the rule of law. It's governed by the rule of law. And there is protection of fundamental rights and freedom. So one, a limited government. There is a saying, Poleni, I know this is a bit heavy, but ikishashika tu itaflow. Yeah? Itaflow. One is a limited government. This is the illustration of how it is limited. It is saying there was a judge in Middle-age Britain who said that within your house, yeah, ukishakuwa kwa nyumba yako, yeah, you know, in Britain they were led by a monarchy, okay? They still are, but now it is sort of a usual monarchy, yeah. That in your house you are at liberty to rebel against the king as much as you want, yeah. The king does not have any right to crash down your house in order to fuel your rebellion. In your house, once you are within the four corners of your house, yeah, you are at liberty, okay, to rebel against the king in as much as you want. You are at liberty to say that king is bad as long as, and say that king is evil as long as it stays within the corners of your house, yeah. But the moment it goes past that window, now it is outside your house. It's outside your house. So that is the very basic concept of a limited government. So a limited government means a government that has got checks. They can only go up to a certain point. Such that when they go breaking into the house of Gabriel or Gold, when they go breaking the laws of G, yeah, they are acting in excess. That is a fundamental breach of democracy. The other element is the separation of powers. So in separation of powers, then we know that government has got how many arms? 3 arms. That is the and beyond that, there are some other states that are, also affiliated to that framework. The fourth quote-unquote armies The fourth estate. That is it. And the fifth estate is the and the sixth? The church. I think I should just close this thing here. I should disband this discussion and go home. Yeah, I mean, yes. The commissions. The commissions are part of the government. Now, in our constitutional architecture, they are largely part of the executive, but they are independent of the executive. So, sort of, it's actually a new creature that has both a hybrid of executive and a hybrid of judicial. Okay, in that you find that they have got an executive function in a way, and they also have got a quasi-judicial function, depending on how they are, on how they are structured. And that's why they are called independent commissions. So most of them are required to do the advisory role and all that. And their services are enjoyed by all those acts, okay? Including 4th, 5th, and 6th estates. So they are a modern constitutional creation. Yeah, so that discussion is captured in our constitution, and the relevant articles that we've been talking about in that discussion is, for example, Article 5, Article 2, which also has got 5 and 6. So Article 2 is the article that talks about supremacy of the Constitution. So Article 1 is about sovereignty of the people, which says that all powers belong to the people. Also sovereign power. Yeah, all sovereign powers belong to the people and shall be exercised in accordance with this constitution. Okay? The people may. Exercise those powers either directly or indirectly through the elected representative. That is the government. Then now Article 2 talks about the supremacy of the Constitution and says that any law or act or conduct that is contrary to the Constitution is null and void to the extent of that inconsistency. Okay, guys, this is very important. Of all the provisions, now let me highlight it so that we read it together. National Day Constitution nani? You guys should be with this thing. I mean, you don't need to go to those. Actually, political scientists and